Hey, welcome back to your favorite trig class. We're going to take a look at product to sum to product formulas. We'll be using these in this section. You see four of them listed there. And let's, so we're going to take a product. So we have the sine 6 theta times sine 4 theta and write it as a sum. Now, what I want to do first before I plug it in is make sure that you have your larger angle listed before the sine of 4 theta. And that'll just make it so we don't have to use an even odd property with a negative angle there. So we're going to use the one where we have sine of x, sine of y. So this first one. And notice it's equal to 1/2 cosine x minus y minus cosine x plus y. And we're just going to plug and chug on this. Where our x is 6 theta, our y is the 4 theta. And again, notice if I didn't put this sine of 6 theta first, right, then when if I would have had the sine of 4 theta first, I would have had 4 theta minus 6 theta, which would have been cosine of negative 2 theta. That's like I say, make sure you put in the larger, you list that larger one first and make life easier for you. Oops, 10 theta. And there we are. All done. We just wrote a product as a sum. So notice we have a half cosine 2 theta minus a half cosine 10 theta. All right, here we have cosine theta, cosine 3 theta. And as I mentioned that last problem, make sure since a times b is the same as b times a, I'm going to put that larger angle first before I put the theta, right? And then I'm following the cosine x, cosine y. So I'm using that one right there. So we have cosine x, cosine y. Put this down there. And again, I'm going to put that 3 theta first. Where our 3 theta here is our x. Our y here is theta. Oops. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? Yeah, 3 theta minus 2 theta. And there we are. Now notice if I had not switched them. So if I'd have left it cosine theta, cosine 3 theta, and then I'd have plugged it in. So then we had x minus y, so it'd be theta minus 3 theta, and theta plus 3 theta. So we have 1/2 cosine of negative 2 theta plus cosine of 4 theta. Well, remember, the cosine is an even function. And so the cosine of negative x is the same as the cosine of x. So here we have cosine of negative 2 theta. That'd be the same as the cosine of 2 theta. So you have to use the fact that it's even to finish this. So there's an extra step there. Where the sine sine is an odd function, right? If you have to do it with a sine, then this is true because it's odd, right? So again, I would not do that way. I would list my 3 theta first and then my theta, right? Cosine 3 theta, then the cosine theta. So list that larger angle first. It'd be easier, in my opinion. So, all right, we got another one here. We got cosine 3 theta sine of 5 theta. And again, let's rewrite that with the sine of that. So the larger angle goes first, and then the cosine of that smaller 3 theta. So we're using sine x cosine y. So I go ahead and look at my formula sheet. Sine x cosine y is 1/2 sine of x minus y plus sine x plus y. And we have our x here is 5 theta. And there we go. Now sometimes you don't have thetas or 3 thetas, you have actual values like this one, cosine 5 pi 12 sine pi 12. Again, we'll list the larger one first, which is 5 pi 12. So we'll use cosine x sine y formula. So our x is 5 pi 12, our y is pi 12. So it looks like we have sine of 5 pi 12 plus a pi 12, 6 pi 12, which is just a pi halves. And then over here we got 5 pi 12 minus 1 pi 12, so we got 4 pi 12, which is pi thirds. And then we look on our unit circle, and you take the sine of pi halves, which is 1, y value there at pi halves. We take the sine of pi thirds, which is root 3 over 2. And so we got, let me go ahead and distribute that. I got 1/2 minus root 3 over 4. Or if I get a common denominator, I would have 4 minus root 3 all over 4. I'm sorry, that's not 4. Good grief. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 minus root 3 all over 4. All right, let's get into sum to product formulas now. So we did product to sums. Now we're going to do sums. So we have a sum, and it's now written as a product, right? So here we have, let's do this first one. We have sine of 5 theta minus sine of 3 theta. And so we're going to use sine x minus sine y. So we'll use this first one. Sine x minus sine, or I'm sorry, the second formula there equals 2 sine x minus y over 2 cosine times, right, product, because we're going to a product. We got 5 theta minus the sine of 3 theta. So x is 5 theta, y is the 3 theta. And it looks like we got 2 theta over 2 cosine of 8 theta over 2. 2's cancel. So So we got sine of theta. 8 over 2, of course, is 4 theta. And there we are, 2 sine theta, cosine 4 theta. So we wrote this sum, or difference in this case, right? Because, you know, this is still a sum, right? This is the same as plus a negative. Right? So that sum is now written as a product. All right, let's do this next one. We got cosine of 2 theta plus cosine of 3 theta. Now, I'm going to use cosine x plus cosine y. That cosine, let me do it different. Let me do black here. Cosine x plus cosine y, 2 cosine x plus y over 2. Cosine x minus y over 2. Notice we have an x minus a y again, and so since cosine 2 theta plus cosine 3 theta is the same as cosine 3 theta plus cosine 2 theta, right? I can reverse those as the same thing. Then I won't have a negative on this again. So let's switch the order because we got a plus because we can, right? And then our 3 theta is the x. And the y is 2 theta. And there we go. All right, on this next one, notice we have the 4 theta before the 7 theta, but we got a minus, and so we want to use this cosine x minus cosine y formula. Right, that's our go-to. But what we have here is 4 theta minus cosine 7 theta. And so you can either leave it like that and apply the fact that the cosine, even odd properties of sine and cosine, or you could just switch their, factor a negative out, which would be negative cosine 4 theta plus cosine 7 theta, and then you can switch these two. I have cosine 7 theta minus cosine 4 theta. And now we can apply that property, but keep in mind we'll have a negative in front. So we'll have a negative in front, then we're going to apply this. So x 7 theta plus y Now let's distribute that. So that'll be a positive 2 sine of 11 theta over 2 cosine 3 theta over 2. Again, you could have done that with even odd properties if you'd have wanted to as well, but that's kind of my preference on that one. All right, let's take a look at this last one we got with degrees here, but I'm going to go ahead and use sine x plus sine of y equals 2 sine x plus y over 2 cosine x minus y over 2. Again, the larger angle is not listed first, but it's a plus, so I can just write it as sine of 75 plus sine of 15, since that's the same thing as sine of 15 plus sine of 75. Now let's plug it in with my x and my y. And I say, well, we know the sine of 45, y value there at 45 degrees. I know the cosine at 30 degrees is root 3 over 2. And 2 over 2, that'll cancel. So it looks like I got root 2 times root 3 is a root 6 all over 2. That should be enough to kind of get you started on sum to product and product to sum formulas, section 7.7. Thanks so much for taking notes. See you next time.